Manifest. I'd like to introduce you to Manifest, which is one of the latest technologies I've been provided to work with from the other realms. And this one came through my partner Paz's mother, interestingly enough. She's someone who does amazing mandalas, which she's very much guided to do from other realms, and this one came through her. And I've been working with Manifest since. And then last week I did a series of 4 Universal Soul Retrievals, all working with Manifest. So I thought I'd tell you something about this particular technology. So what we've got going on here is we've got a central triangle out of which are coming 3 horn-shaped structures which look rather like, yes, vortices. What a surprise. It's that universal method of transportation in the universe outside of the 3-dimensional realms. Are we quite keen on going from A to B? Although our journey to get here is very much not A to B, it's very much of a spiral journey too. So here we are, the central triangle, 3 cornucopias coming out of it, and on each one there's a blue sphere, and the background is, unsurprisingly, orange. So these seem to be the key colours in my work, as the orange and the blue, so here they are yet again. And what this does is this device spins quickly, very quickly indeed. And it's got a number of ways of working, but I'm only wanting to focus on how it now has revolutionised Universal Soul Retrieval, which is in the part of the work where we're removing unwanted energies. What happens is this device spins very, very fast indeed in a horizontal plane. It goes all the way through the person's chakras, through their energy body, and as it does this, it's collecting any unwanted negative energies which are being drawn and drawn and drawn into this device, and it spins the opposite way. Off it goes, up and out, exactly the opposite direction, and what it's collected it turns straight up into the blue vortex and is thus removed to where it is supposed to go. So that's the new technology I wanted to share with you. It certainly does have some other qualities, and I'll mention one of them, which is, it's for me an understanding about how worlds are created. This form has got extraordinary power in it, and by tuning into it I can see that this is actually how all the manifest worlds get created, is through this mechanism of spinning, of using the method of the vortex or the wormhole. These seem to be very universal constants throughout what I've explored so far on all my journeys. So thank you for that. That's a little bit about Manifest. This technology which I'm describing, this form, this structure, it's familiar and it's seen in many different structures in different religious symbols and other symbols throughout the world. So this is by no means a unique experience, it's a very applied experience. And I've been working with Manifest for some weeks when the guardian of this particular technology chose to show himself to me, and it was very much a him, no question about it. And it was just a lovely meeting, just to connect and to recognise each other and say hello, and him recognising the use of the Manifest, me recognising him. So that was a lovely moment. To help explain the work that I do, I've done a series of pictures which are going up onto the website www.youtubeshaman.com, and these pictures are to help you to grasp in a visual sense what it is that I do. So very early on in my introduction to my helpers and the Orange Rune, which is where I do the work, I was allowed a once only opportunity to visit their world and to have a real good look at what it's like. And it's a very different realm from what we have here on the earth, and it gives me massive appreciation and massive increased respect for this planet. It is so beautiful. Now, the planet that the helpers come from, it's beautiful in its own way too, but the diversity of life is very much simpler. So it's what we call a binary star system. There's a large orange star and a small blue star which are passing through the heavens in their days, and the buildings they live in are, for want of a better word, they look like pyramidical shapes. And you can see in the picture there's this shape, and I can only describe it as like a Christmas tree. And there are lots and lots of buildings because there's a huge population of beings living on this planet, and there are a certain number of them that are specifically involved with healing and helping other beings, and particularly my helpers I'm aware of helping human beings on this planet. And I do know that there are other helpers that are waiting for other human beings to tune in with this planet because there's a lot of help out there, and this is something I want to explain to you. There are so many beings in the semi-physical realms that so desire to help us. They know we're going through one of the most challenging experiences a living being can have, which is full physical existence in a fully physical planet, our planet Earth in our own solar system. So that's the first picture. This picture looks a bit like Christmas trees. It shows the density of population, it shows the overriding colour orange. The other picture you can see, there's this one big pyramid. This is just focusing in more detail. You can see the binary star system, the orange sun, which is large, the blue sun, which is small, and you can see the huge number of windows in that building. And I don't know how clear it comes out on the picture, but my helpers are just waving out of one of the particular windows. Now the next picture I want to refer you to is this one. This is the one that shows you the worlds of the shaman. These are worlds which are recognised by shamans practicing worldwide for more than 40,000 years. They're really well accepted. So first of all, there is the lower world, and you can see that one in the picture. That's where shamans and other healers go for healing, particularly. If someone needs healing, that's where we tend to go. And to go to the lower world, the shaman or healer, in their active imagination, they see themselves going down into the earth, maybe just sinking into the earth, or maybe down through a tree root, down through a rabbit hole, down through a wormhole, or maybe even down through stairs or a spiral staircase, an escalator, or a lift. There are many ways to go down, but that's the idea, is your consciousness and the consciousness of your guides are travelling downwards. And you go down, down, down until you go as low as you can, and you open up into this space, and there you see the lower world. I've been to the lower world many, many hundreds of times, and every time it looks different because I'm going to different places each time. But there are certain things about the lower world which have in common. These landscapes are rich, and because we're guided to go to find the lost soul parts, we tend to find ourselves immediately in the situation where that part was lost. So the scene changes and you find yourself in what could be maybe a Victorian schoolroom if you're rescuing a soul part from a child that comes from those eras. It could be anywhere you might end up, but that's the lower world, and it's for healing. And we find the lost soul part, we dialogue if necessary, we heal if necessary, we bring the lost soul part. That's lower world. This is very familiar. Then there's the upper world. And the upper world we find ourselves rising up, perhaps up into the sky, up into the clouds, perhaps up a lift, maybe up a rope, or maybe just floating upwards. And this you can see in the picture. And this is where we go for guidance and for information and for help with a person who's got problems. And often what happens, we connect to the person's higher self. And I know when I'm doing this, I just draw breath, and the higher self of that person downloads all the information to me. So you can see that one on the picture, the upper world. And then there's the other place, which is the one between the two, called the middle world. And for shamans who go directly to the middle world, this is a dangerous place to go. You only go if you're very well equipped with guides who are strong and powerful and utterly trustworthy. And you can see the grey colour quality in this one, and you can see the little black shapes. And these represent entities, negative energies, parts which can cause mischief and problems. It's where dark magicians work to cause their harm to others. So this is a place that one only goes to if one is very well prepared, and even so one goes quickly, one does the work very quickly, and one exits equally quickly, and one is very well shielded and protected in such a realm. So now you can see there's another opportunity, which is not to go to the middle world, but to go in that other direction. And there you see the next picture, and the next picture shows you the Orange Healing Room. Now what I want to explain about the Orange Healing Room is it's literally just one space in one floor of that gigantic pyramidal structure you've seen, but it's rather like Doctor Who's TARDIS. It can take up any size that we require it to do. And if I'm working for one client, it's usually quite a small space. If I'm working for a number of clients, it becomes a larger space. And I've been told by my helpers that it's possible to do work for hundreds of clients at a time in this space. So the prevailing obvious thing is the colour is orange. For every client's energy body that arrives, a little bit of the orange ground moves up and creates a space from which the energy body is able to lie while we do all the work. You can see the blue vortex in the ceiling, which is simply manifested through the power of thought. the moment I think the blue vortex, it's there. So this is where we do the work. Now moving on to the next picture, you can see the person's energy body on the orange caps they're lying on, and you can see the vortex activated. You can see the negative energies being drawn up like little blacknesses and being sucked up into the vortex. We move on to the next picture, and you can see what happens. You can see where they go. You can see how the blue vortex connects with a different dimension, and this dimension is the heaven for these beings. And what a good thing it is that we learnt this method of dealing with entities and negative energies and removing them in love to a place which is their heaven. And you can see how the prevailing quality of these energies is black until they go through the portal into their own heaven, and there they change their appearance and they become radiant light beings. You can see them glowing in the picture there. And this is what happened. In cases of really recalcitrant negative energies, which are causing the client real problems and they're really resisting and holding on hard, then what sometimes happens is a couple or more of these enlightened, transformed beings will actually come back down through the vortex, and they spend time with that negative energy and they download information into it and they prove to it beyond its doubt, beyond its concerns and beyond its anxieties, this is the safe place to go. This is the place they've always wanted to go. So it's one of the cornerstones of the work is removing negative energies. This just gives you a little picture of what it looks like. Thank you.